Hello. Imagine a stakeholder who's important to you comes to you and says, "Hey, Stefan, that analysis you're working on at the moment, I need all the detail by tomorrow." And you're thinking, are you mad? Do you know how much work this is? It feels really overwhelming. And when things feel overwhelming, very often we don't pay enough attention to trade-offs. A trade-off is a situation where you can't have it both ways. It's very normal and very ordinary. But these situations require us to make choices. And choices require leadership. So rather than saying, "I can't do this for you," and some passive-aggressive rant of what a numpty this other person is for even insinuating you could do this, hold the phone, make the trade-off explicit, and then lead the conversation into options. Here's how it could look like. I understand you need this analysis, but here's what it would require of me to do what you're asking me until tomorrow. I can't do this, unfortunately. What I can do is I can get you the preliminary results of the analysis tomorrow, or I give you a specific aspect of the analysis in great detail. What would be more helpful for you? Let's unpack this. Number one, call the trade-off. That means make explicit and talk about the deeper structure that's at play here. Very often it's about speed versus quality or depth versus breadth. It can be frustrating, but other people's job is not to know about the trade-offs in your world. It's your job to make it explicit. And very often people are relatively receptive to being confronted with a trade-off and asked to make choices of how to relate to it. Number two, don't just push back. It doesn't look collaborative. And what's even more important, it invites the use of force or authority or power to still get what people want from you. It's more productive after you call the trade-off to talk about available options. You can even, in an act of service, ask the person of which option would be most helpful to them. If you are up against power, you might face the risk that power asks you to outwork the trade-off. In this case, it's really helpful to talk about the consequences of not making a choice. And number three, don't frame the trade-off too tightly. Don't just optimize for yourself. Very often in complex organizations, the way we relate to trade-offs has impact for other people. So we need to consider that and think about the business value holistically. Similarly, the trade-offs that other people manage have impact on your work, so you want to influence that.